And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Always busy here on the show when you've got about 9, 10 shows a week out there on KKTC True Country 99.9 and our friends at HighTideCountry.net, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. Yours truly, Caden Gordon, joining us here on this one here as well. We'll be in Nashville CMA Fest doing the radio shows live from the Fanfare X out there too at the same time at beautiful, beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. 7 stages. Get those tickets now, CMAFest.com. And download the CMA Fest Connect app. Backstage at the Opry, June the 9th, with Sunday Morning Country, hosted by Brenda Lee, and a lot of cool things coming up here for the Backstage Pass. Pleased to welcome in one of the all-time greats. He had the most successful line dance song of all time. It's not a surprise. And, of course, out there, a permanent spot in the Country Music Hall of Fame for that accomplishment. The one, the only, Blanco Brown to the Backstage Pass. We say, Blanco.
Hey now, say now. Blessings. How y'all doing?
Good to have you, brother. Just doing very well here, too. Well, I tell you what, hey, let's backtrack a little bit. Before we talk about the big song, man, you have gone through hell and back. And I remember like it was yesterday, and it's not something you want to remember about, but I guess we all go through these things. You went through a just horrific, tragic motorcycle accident that nearly took it away. Just you look back and you start saying 4 or 5 years ago, as time flies, and it's just really, I don't know where it's going now these days, but it's going. Nobody can stop it. Just talk about having to persevere and come through something like that, which was a tragedy, being the highest of highs with a song like the Get Up, and then going through something like that, which you see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh man, I mean, it definitely tested my faith, and I saw how strong I was in that very moment when I had to be the strongest. I had never broken anything in my body, but that day, getting hit by a drunk driver, I broke so many things, but it didn't break my spirit. So it's just a blessing to be a blessing, and for the world to actually see me go through that and see me moving and still doing the Lord's work. You know what I'm saying? So it's a blessing. I think all things are divine appointment as long as you believe and you manifest it. So I saw myself out of the accident, giving back to the world, performing. Here I am.
Looking back when you started your career, just talk about all the great musical influences, because I love the fact that now country has the crossover now between what is country music, what's not. People can have their opinions out there too, but this movement now that we're in now, and if people love it, I mean, you turn it on, you crank it up, you just deliver some fun music out there. Did you guys kind of feel at the time when the Get Up came out 2019, right there before the pandemic, we all need something to kind of feel good about? And did you kind of feel good when you guys were writing this or stepping in the studio, collaborating on this song, that it would be this viral?
Well, it's all what I felt, how I felt as I was composing the music. I told my homies in the studio, I said, man, this gonna be like the Ache and Break Your Heart on steroids. And I actually produced that song, wrote it, composed it, engineered it, the whole nine, 100% on that. So it was one of those things where I can say it was me. It was my baby, the way the Lord saw fit for me to step into this field and not have anything around me supporting me, but going to a whole another chapter in my life where I need support from everybody. So, man, it's a blessing to be able to get your thoughts recorded. Just like that song and so many more. Like they just marked times in my life.
I love the fact that you can sit there and talk about the moves in the song, because we all need to kind of let loose sometimes. And I think, in the country, especially right now, I know we're in an election year, and no, I don't do politics on this show, but with everything we think is major, sometimes it's just like cool to take a step back and just like do the dance. Like I said, I got my 4-year-old doing it right now too. She's loving it too. She was born when that first came out too, and now she's learning all the moves. And Daddy, this is fun. I'm like, it's meant to be fun. It's fun music. It's creative. And I know you got to be still even excited today that people love this song and really just captivate to it.
Man, I felt like it was gonna be a big song, but I didn't know it was gonna be like big. I was shocked that it actually got to where it was, and it touched so many different places in this world. Like it had me in Germany, Italy, New Zealand, Canada. It had me everywhere. Like things I couldn't even imagine. Poland. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I did this song, I recorded it in the bedroom, in my bedroom, in my mother's house,
Mm-hmm.
my bedroom in Atlanta, you know, in my mother's house. And I'm just like, this is crazy that it's now touching the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't put no money behind that record. That record had no money put behind it. There was no scheming, scamming, no nothing. It organically grew
Mm-hmm.
to what it was, just solely alone based on the people. You know what type of feeling that is? That's like
Mm-hmm.
that's a next level high, man. Like, so I can honestly say it was all God's work in my scenario of how
Mm-hmm.
I became relevant in this industry. Trailer Trap.
Yeah, I saw first responders and I saw law enforcement. I saw some videos. Of course, I just YouTube and have fun with it too. Everybody who was anybody at the time having fun with this. The cool thing for me was there was a really cool thing where I can't remember the actual law enforcement task it was, but there was a video. They started out and it was like a sheriff's office coming together, and it was there's a lot of stuff out there. This is just one in particular I saw the other day. Just kind of just headlining it out there and Googling it and just learning the steps. But they came together. They got out in a parking lot, Blanco, and they were doing all the moves the best they could. It was like for a charity thing. So it was kind of cool to see first responders, military, law enforcement come together just to have fun with this, right?
Oh yeah, I know that had to be. It's exciting to see people do the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I see them dance, like I'm super excited. It's a new memory starting over and over again. I feel like the song gonna forever grow.
No doubt too, as well. Like I said, live on infamy. Hey, when you got the word that you guys had the accomplishment, it just grew organically, and now most successful line dance song of all time in a permanent spot in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Just saying those words, Country Music Hall of Fame. What did you the emotions and the feelings that you went through with that when you got the news?
Man, cold chills. I still get the chills to this very point. Like I'm from the west side of Atlanta, Georgia. Like
Mm-hmm.
the I won't say we were the bottom of the bottoms, but we were pretty at the beginning of the spectrum. And it gave me a look on life of hoping to be and working to be past those points in my life. The good life, getting out the hood. Like, you can't replace none of these memories and moments, man. So to be in the Hall of Fame
Mm-hmm.
permanently, coming from that, it was extra surreal to me. It would have been surreal to me, period. But coming from that, it's just like, wow. A black man from Atlanta, Georgia, from the west side of Atlanta, Georgia, and all the way to the south side, Washington Road, exit 1, being in Nashville Country Music Hall of Fame. Like,
Crazy. Enough said.
yeah.
Right there too. We'll take a quick time out here again. The interview presented by our friend Sandy June, sandyjunemusic.com. Her new single's coming out May 27th. She brings us Blanco Brown today. We got a lot to talk about with Cedar Walls and Whiskey. And, of course, that comes out June 14th. And the new single we played on KKTC the other day, Snapshot, got a huge, overwhelming review from all the listeners out there, too, as well. They loved it. Can't wait for the rest of Cedar Walls and Whiskey coming out June 14th from the great Blanco Brown. And, of course, CMA Fest coming up June 6th to the 9th. I'll be in Nashville, Tennessee, as well as Caden doing our radio shows live from the Music City Center, Fanfare X. Come by and say hi to us. We got all the bookings in the world and backstage at the Grand Ole Opry. And I'm going to talk to Blanco about it because I was actually at the Grand Ole Opry last CRS. Blanco took the stage. We'll get a little word on that, too, as well. I was sitting in the upper deck, too, at the same time there as we were there for Country Radio Seminar. Word from our sponsors and sandyjunemusic.com. Here's information more on the latest single. Stay tuned. And a word from Bangtail Whiskey. More coming up with Blanco Brown here on the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
And of course, we're here with Blanco Brown on the Backstage Pass, but of course, presented by our friends over at SandyJuneMusic.com. And Sandy's with us to talk about a great single coming out May 31st. So many great people are behind this project, Sandy. I know you cannot wait for this single to come out.
Yes, it's actually going to come out on the 27th on Memorial Day.
27th, all right.
Yeah, so we were trying to push it to the 27th, and I think we've made that goal. So it'll be out the 27th.
Well, tell us all about it, too, because you've got the military, the first responders, Kima police, everybody's behind this.
Yes, I'm so excited. So I teamed up with a friend of mine. She is the founder and executive director for an organization here in Galveston County called Wheelchairs for Warriors. And they make specialty wheelchairs for our wounded veterans. And she's been asking me for about 2 years to write an anthem song for her organization. And it finally happened. And it just turned out beautifully. She helped co-write the second and third verse. And we went to the studio. The music is just beautiful. And so this song is for our wounded warriors. It is, hence the name Rolling Strong. It's for the wheels, on the wheelchair, but it's also for the wheels in life. And it's not just for our veterans, but it's for our law enforcement, our first responders, our hardworking American people. And it's a good, wholesome American song with a lot of meaning behind it. There's a lot of people involved in this video. Our Kima Police Department and Fire Department were involved in this video. And in the video, they shut down the Kima 146 bridge for the making of this video. And there's just a whole lot of people in this video. I think, the more people that you involve and include, the more people are going to promote that video. But it has a very good, strong message behind it, the song.
Well, I can't wait for it to come out again, May 27th. We're going to play it on KKTC True Country 99.9 out there too when it does drop, and do an artist spotlight feature on all this. And of course, run this through CMA Fest 2024. Will be there June 6th to the 9th in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee at Fanfare X, and talking to a lot of people. To check her out, SandyJuneMusic.com. Hey, appreciate you bringing us Blanco Brown, and of course, all these great interviews we have here on the show. And best of luck with this single for a great cause, and we can't wait to play it on KKTC. Sure appreciate you always, and your support means a lot here on the Backstage Pass.
Thank you so much, Brandon. And I want to add, I will be at the CMA Fest. CDX Records out of Nashville called me the other day. I'll be there singing 2 songs. So I'm excited.
Looking forward to it. We're going to run into each other. No doubt about it. Coming up a little bit, back to Blanco Brown here on the Backstage Pass. And, of course, more great shows coming up over the next few weeks. Struggle Jennings, Kaylee Hammock, Pam Tillis, Daryl Worley. We just stack them up here on the show. Coming right back with Blanco here in just a little bit on KKTC, True Country 99.9 and HighTideCountry.net. Powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. More to come. Stay tuned. And back here with Blanco Brown on the Backstage Passer. Thanks to Sandy June Music. We'll see you at CMA Fest out there. Speaking of that, Blanco, are you going to be around for CMA Fest? I may have to run into you and say hello.
Man, y'all call me eating candy again. But I'll be performing June the 8th.
All right. So we got to come out there. Can I make it I'm going to make it a Blanco Brown show. I got to come out and shoot some video, just have some fun.
Let's do it.
All right. You know what stage you're going to be on? June the 8th, right?
Don't get me the line. But June 8th.
I'll check it out. Download the CMA Fest Connect app. Check out the lineups and the schedules out there, too. Hey, talk about this one, too. Heartache and Lemonade came out April 5th. This was some more great music. I thought the one on there, they all did it for me, but I mean the one that just has the groove, and my daughter was dancing, too. She loved it. Was, of course, Sunshine Shine on there, too, man. Just the groove and the feel for it. Another just dance song out there, too. How proud were you to get that new music out there, too? And this is part one of the Cedar Walls and Whiskey coming out June 14th. But to get Heartache and Lemonade out and put 4 great songs into those fans' hands.
Man, I was so excited to get this project out. It was originally supposed to be a double album. But the label felt like I would lose so many songs and just putting out such a big project. So they wanted to break it down. That way I could stay consistent for a whole year into 3 EPs, 4 songs apiece, and a whole nother album to follow. getting the music out was always the goal. But I was also working through the rehab and
Mm-hmm.
rehabilitation, and couldn't perform or sing songs at moments. So I was just managing the pain.
Yeah.
To finally get it out, man, it's honestly one of those things that I pray that people listen to, feel the message in the music, and let the title speak for themselves. Like Heartache and Lemonade, I wrote that title
Mm-hmm.
and in the mindset of going through something that's heart, heart wrenching, and turning it into something sweet, making moments out of sour moments into something that people love.
Mm-hmm.
Cedar Walls and Whiskey, the nostalgic memories, growing up as a kid, seeing the cedar walls behind me. When I grew up in Bankhead on the west side, we had brick walls, so we didn't see stuff hanging. But I went to like my great auntie houses. They had the wood walls and had stuff hanging. That to us looked like magic.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff floating on the wall. And just didn't know no better as kids. It just looked like, wow, we don't have stuff hanging on the walls in the hood. And the whiskey is a symbolism of, when you take a shot of whiskey, you can feel it in your chest.
Oh yeah.
I don't drink, but I wanted people to feel my music in their heart. So I came
Mm-hmm.
up with Cedar Walls and Whiskey.
Yeah.
So that's the, just a explanation of how the
Mm-hmm.
music came about for both of those.
Yep. Go ahead, Caden. I know you got a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. So to answer your question about where he'll be, he's going to be at the Chevy Vibe stage Saturday, June 8th from 2 to 2:30.
There
And
we
then
go.
he's also got his meet and greet from 11 to noon. So there's your answer.
Hey, now say now.
Now,
Thank
my
you.
question
Thank you, Dad.
is yeah, my pleasure. My absolute pleasure. So what advice would you give to somebody that may be going through a hard time? Maybe they just got into an accident or something like that. What would you tell your fans out there that may be listening right now that might be going through a hard time?
You got to know that you're going to get to a better day. I took it day by day while going through the pains and praying every day and working through and a lot of sleepless nights. But I knew that one day I would get to the end of that feeling. And I looked forward to that day. So I went to sleep dreaming of making it to that day. It kept my head in the game.
Mm-hmm. No doubt, too. Love that answer. Yep, good stuff. Hey, let's talk about this. I happened to catch you last year. We're in town for CRS, last minute, spur of the moment thing. Go over. I wanted to go to the Opry, put it as a bucket list thing for me. I did it. Bought the tickets. You guys were up there. I know it was Randall King had opened it. Julia Cole was on there too. Jeannie Seeley, you're on that docket. And then of course, good friend Brantley Gilbert got to headline
Oh,
the
yeah.
show. Just saw Fort Worth
Yeah.
last week during his Off the Rails tour, which is kicking some ass out there. Talk about that. It wasn't the first, but every time you step in that center circle, man, you just bring it, have fun. And so many of the greats have stepped in that center circle. Blanco, what does that mean to you?
Man, it's a blessing to be there every time. We made history in 2019 being the first artist to ever play 808s on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, we were at the Ryman.
Oh,
So,
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
man, listen, making magic. But debuting at the Grand Ole Opry and standing in that circle is like a kid's dream to one day be married and have a home and have everything that you ever wish for.
Mm-hmm.
To stand on that stage is just magical, man. So many people have touched that stage. Anybody that was somebody in Nashville has stood in that circle, and you get to stand right there inside of that magic. So I always leave it on the floor there. I give it my all. Yep.
Well, there's another good one. I love the collaborations you get to do in this industry because I loved High Horse, and that one had to ask you about this one. Nelly and Breland, and of course yourself. 2021 when High Horse comes out. A lot of fun with this song and a lot of just cool lyrics in this one.
Oh yeah, man. Nelly and Breland had a writing session. I had a session that I stopped by for him earlier that day. But he called me to come to the session with him and Breland. Me and Matt from Parmalee, Matt
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, stopped by the studio, and they were going through songs. And then Sam, one of the producers, played this track. A lot of people don't know it, but it's actually a sample. It's a sample track from back in like 1983,
Mm-hmm.
and they sampled it. And me and Matt had been playing with this little idea of get up off of that high horse, and it fitted just right on the track.
Mm-hmm.
Started playing with the melody, came up with the hook, went in there and laid it. Then Breland and myself and Nelly, I call him Mo, we went in there and did our verses, and I mean it came out how it came out, man. That was a fun one. But a lot of people don't know it. I was Nelly's vocal producer for years,
Mm-hmm.
like starting since 2012. So that's how we get to always link up. It's like fam.
I love it, man. It's good to have the family too. Speaking of Parmalee, big hit for you guys. It was 2019, and just the way it comes out, and I'm like DJing country radio and playing this one too, and
Yes.
he's like, sing it, Blanc, at the beginning. I love that one too, which is always fun because you guys, I mean, you told the story beautifully.
I
That's
love
what
that
country
one.
music
Yes.
is all about. It's storytelling, and just the way hit the nail on the head with that one.
Man, thank y'all much. That was a magical one. Matt hit me up, said we have a positive song. We think you'll be good on it. That's what you stand for and represent. They sent it over. I said, man, let's do it. Matt and Dave Fannin, one of the writers also on the song, producer also, drove down. I cut my verse, and we didn't let the label hear it until we had it mixed, and it was going into master. So they were shocked to hear the record, and it did what God said it was going to do.
The good Lord does what it says it's going to do. Then, like I said, he's got his hand on everything, and you cannot dispute that too as well. Just like you can't dispute CMA Fest coming up here in a few weeks there. Blanco's going to be there too as well. Having a good time there too on that Chevy Vibe stage on that June 8th, 2 to 2:30, and the meet and greet from 11 till 12 o'clock there. We'll be there. We'll probably definitely, I'm sure, run into you out there too as well on that too. At the same time, say hello to. Make sure you guys get your tickets now.
Yes.
CMAFest.com and download that CMA Fest Connect app right now too. Check out the lineups and the schedules there too. See, free advice and free you learn something here on the Backstage Pass. We give you instant information at your fingertips. You have it right here too with Blanco Brown here on the Backstage Pass. We got to take a time out, pay some bills here on the podcast. If not, we get in trouble, and then the sponsors get worried about everything. But it's all good. Blanco Brown's coming back here on the show. We'll talk about Snapshot, which is the first single off the Cedar Walls and Whiskey EP coming out June the 14th, and of course set the tone for the rest of the week. Again, we're presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, the CadenGordonShow.com, today's best country mix, and our friend Sandy June Music, SandyJuneMusic.com brings us Blanco Brown today here on the show. A quick timeout from our friends out there too. CMA Fest 2024, just a few weeks away. Stay tuned and work from our sponsors. More to come here with Blanco Brown here again. KKTC True Country 99.9 and at HighTideCountry.net, and powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
The Caden Gordon Show is a 2-hour show playing the best in country music. So check it out at thecadengordonshow.com. Again, that is thecadengordonshow.com.
And, of course, we're here with Blanco Brown on the Backstage Pass, but, of course, presented by our friends over at SandyJuneMusic.com. And Sandy's with us to talk about a great single coming out May 31st. So many great people are behind this project, Sandy. I know you cannot wait for this single to come out.
Yes, it's actually going to come out on the 27th on Memorial Day.
27th, all right.
Yeah, so we were trying to push it to the 27th, and I think we've made that goal. So it'll be out the 27th.
Well, tell us all about it, too, because you've got the military, the first responders, Kima Police, everybody's behind this.
Yes, I'm so excited. So I teamed up with a friend of mine. She is the founder and executive director for an organization here in Galveston County called Wheelchairs for Warriors. And they make specialty wheelchairs for our wounded veterans. And she's been asking me for about 2 years to write an anthem song for her organization. And it finally happened. and it just turned out beautifully. She helped co-write the second and third verse, and we went to the studio. The music is just beautiful. And so this song is for our wounded warriors. It is, hence the name Rolling Strong. It's for the wheels, on the wheelchair, but it's also for the wheels in life. And it's not just for our veterans, but it's for our law enforcement, our first responders, our hardworking American people. And it's a good, wholesome American song with a lot of meaning behind it. There's a lot of people involved in this video. Our Kemah Police Department and Fire Department were involved in this video. And in the video, they shut down the Kemah 146 bridge for the making of this video. And there's just a whole lot of people in this video. I think, the more people that you involve and include, the more people are going to promote that video. But it has a very good, strong message behind it, the song.
Well, I can't wait for it to come out again. May 27th, we're going to play it on KKTC True Country 99.9 out there too when it does drop, and do an artist spotlight feature on all this, and of course run this through CMA Fest 2024. Will be there June 6th to the 9th in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee at Fanfare X, and talking to a lot of people. To check her out, sandyjunemusic.com. Hey, appreciate you bringing us Blanco Brown, and of course all these great interviews we have here on the show, and best of luck with this single for a great cause, and we can't wait to play it on KKTC. Sure appreciate you always, and your support means a lot here on the Backstage Pass.
Thank you so much, Brandon. I want to add, I will be at the CMA Fest. CDX Records out of Nashville called me the other day. I'll be there singing 2 songs, so I'm excited.
Looking forward to it. We're going to run into each other. No doubt about it. Coming up a little bit, back to Blanco Brown here on the Backstage Pass. And, of course, more great shows coming up over the next few weeks. Struggle Jennings, Kaylee Hammock, Pam Tillis, Daryl Worley. We just stack them up here on the show. Coming right back with Blanco here in just a little bit on KKTC, True Country 99.9 and HighTideCountry.net. Powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. More to come. Stay tuned. And, of course, you can pre-save Rolling Strong right now, too, across all those streaming platforms. And go check her out, sandyjunemusic.com. Appreciate her bringing us all these great interviews here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. And, of course, again, CMA Fest June 6th to 9th. Blanco Brown's going to be there. Chevy Vibes stage, 2 to 2:30 on that Saturday. Meet and greet at the Fanfare X between 11 and 12 o'clock that morning, too, as well, into the afternoon. And a lot of things to see out there. Download the CMA Fest Connect app right now. And, of course, myself, Caden Gordon, will be there doing the radio shows live in the media room inside the Music City Center out there, too, as well. I'm getting out to Blanco's show. Caden, you might have to take over the show because I'm going to see Blanco play the stage on Chevy Vibes. I'm sorry.
Who said that I'm taking over the show? I want to go see Mr. Blanco, too.
Man, that's hilarious.
Elise might have to do it. The other co-host here on the show, Elise Saunders, out there too, another great artist that helped us co-host these music shows. So Blanco, if you see a couple of guys out there with some Blanco Brown caps and some shirts and cutting up, doing the get up, and you're on stage, I mean,
that's hilarious. Man, y'all already had me I was trying to hold in my laugh the whole time because I was looking down at my other phone when y'all came back in. Y'all stuck. It's just a poof. I looked up. When you play that back, it's gonna be hilarious.
It will be, no doubt. Again, guess what? A few thousand people get to listen to it tonight on KKTC True Country during primetime hours on a 100,000-watt radio station. I'm sure some people will be giggling and laughing too as they drive home from picking up the kids out there, and on HighTideCountry.net too as well out there too. With we reached 250,000 people last year at HighTideCountry.net. So thank you guys, much love. We appreciate that. And some more exciting news. We're adding stations over the next few months, and you'll want to stick around for the next station coming up. It's pretty close to your heart. I think you'll like this one too when we make the announcement over the next few months too. And that's the thing, Blanco. If you had a great time, you always get to come back and talk about new music when it comes out too. That's the thing, Art. It's not just a one-time thing.
Oh yeah, let's keep it going.
I love it. Hey, let's talk about Snapshot against Cedar Walls and Whiskey. Comes out June the 14th. The first single off of there. Go pre-save now. Blanco's social media out there. The pre-save link is attached to that too. And download this and you get the first song, Snapshot, which we played on KKTC the other day. Talk about this one. Tells a great story. There's a good feel in it. Getting that crossover, just good kind of R&B feel with country, and the collaborations you did with this one. I know you're excited about Snapshot.
Oh yeah, man. I got to work with the legendary Diane Warren for this one. And she said, Blanco, I have a song that I wrote and it's for you. And I was like, okay, that's pretty dope. She wrote a song with me in mind, and I couldn't wait to actually get to the record. I cut partially, some parts in LA with her,
Mm-hmm.
and then as I was finishing my album, it was one of the last songs I was gonna record because I was trying to make sure I could still use the record. So she hit me up. She texted me back and said, Blanco, for the last time, I wrote the record for you. Yes, it's your record. Do the record.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it, and I rushed to Nashville to compose it all the way through. Wrote the music, and I actually produced the whole song. And there we have it, snapshot. Just taking those memories and storing the best ones, making room and real estate in your mind for the best parts of life.
No doubt too. Caden, what you got? Does you hear me? I guess. Caden, you got a question there too?
I can hear you. Yes, I do. So if you had the opportunity to collaborate with any artist that you've never had an opportunity to collaborate with, who would be your dream collaboration?
Sam Cooke.
Ooh, yeah. I love that.
Oh,
No.
wow.
Hey man, that's those songs.
That
Go
one would be a
way, way
good
back.
one. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
could see that.
Yeah,
Yes, I could see
he was
that.
a
Yes.
he was a genius, and he owned everything
Mm-hmm.
in those times. Yep.
Oh, you did. He did. Like I said, he did some of the greatest hits
He
out there
did.
that he ever put out too. And just a genuine musician out there too. And he worked his tail off and love his stuff out there. All right, let's have a little fun, Blanco, as we wrap up here. A little rapid fire. So when you got into music, do you remember, it could be any age level, talent shows, that kind of thing? First song you ever got to sing live on a stage, no matter what level of a musician or a talent show. What was it?
Man, I started when I was 7 years old. I can't quite remember, but I would have to say with my brothers, it will be Michael Jackson's Girlfriend.
It's okay. Hey, taking one of the greats of all time, or just to remember that is a plan itself, no doubt. Hey, when you're in Nashville, right there too, Music City, I've got to check out a bunch of new restaurants there. Blanco, what's some of your favorite restaurants to eat at? What kind of food do you crave? A little bit of everything?
Man, I love to eat at I go eat at Vegalicious every time I'm there. I eat a lot of vegan food,
Mm-hmm.
but
Okay.
outside of that, I like going to 1230. They got good food. They definitely have good food. It's like 3 different levels, and they
Mm-hmm.
each have their own restaurant type food. So I love that spot. Outside of that,
Mm-hmm.
I just find like little vegan spots, and I
Just
might
hit
eat
them up.
I might eat at Brick Tops every once in a while. Yeah,
Brick Tops. All right, I gotta add. We're adding these, Caden, to the list here so we can check out all
Brick
these great
Tops. I get
restaurants.
that. I
Yes.
get that trout with the capers. Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's
Good
gonna be
to
good.
you.
Now, are you a hot chicken fan?
I don't eat chicken.
Oh, you chicken. Okay, so vegan, I should say. Well, I did
I
have to
only
have
eat
the world.
fish.
You like
Well,
fish?
vegan,
Look,
yeah.
yeah, well, true. And the world famous Hattie B's, I had to have it for the first time when I was there. So
Did you like
say
it?
it was good. I got to try the OG Prince's, which is there for. They said that's a better, but there's Party Foul. There's a bunch of them. I get it, but
We got
Italian
one
food and
here.
what's that?
I say we got a Hattie B's here in Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay. All right. See, I got to have it. I went to the OG one down there too, which is, well, I say Prince is the OG, but the original location for Hattie B's was on Broadway down there too, which was
Y'all
over
might see
by.
my shoulder in here. I'm massaging my leg for anybody looking on this live. People start making up little funny things. Watch his arm shaking. I'm massaging my leg.
Nothing wrong with that, brother. Keep that blood circulation going too as well. All right. If you were never a working musician, what other career path would Blanco Brown have been doing?
I got a degree in art, Bachelor of Fine Arts. I do like pastel portraits and color pencils, anything creative is what I would have been doing. Outside of that, maybe building cars, because I build cars too, engines, transmissions, the whole nine, and I have a
Really?
classic car collection. Yeah,
Classic car.
I love classic cars. So
How about that for some great news here on the Backstage Pass? Like I said, get to know them and in a personal way, open up to you. There you go. Classic cars. Never would have known that too as well. Well, I tell you what, it's going to be fun. The CMA Fest coming up here June 6th to the 9th in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. Yours truly, Caden, will be there too, doing the respective shows, having a good time, going out to some stages. I know we're doing Nissan Saturday night too with Laney and, of course, Keith Urban and Terry Clark. It's just going to be a lot of fun time out there taking that show in. Go catch Blanco Brown on that Chevy Vibe stage on June the 8th from, again, the meet and greet 11 till 12 o'clock and the performance from 2 to 2:30 Chevy Vibe stage on June the 8th out there. Appreciate all the work the sponsors do. And again, go get the music right now across all the streaming platforms. Check out blancobrown.com and Pre-Save, Snapshot, and, of course, Cedar Walls and Whiskey comes out June the 14th. Make sure you guys go stream the EP. I know we'll be playing the music out there on KKTC True Country 99.9. Blanco, much love, my friend. Congratulations on all the achievements and the success. Looking forward to meeting up there at CMA Fest. And, brother, you're welcome back here anytime. Appreciate you telling your story and sharing some time with us.
Man, love and blessings. Love and blessings.
You got it. The great Blanco Brown out there across all the streaming platforms. We'll see you guys back tomorrow. Claire Dunn coming by here on the Backstage Pass. And then Friday, a couple of legends right here. Pam Tillis and Daryl Worley right here on the Backstage Pass, still keeping it going out there with their respective music and their tours. We'll see you guys soon from all of us at hightidecountry.net and KKTC True Country 99.9, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. We'll see you soon. Take care.